Bombs exploding and hitting exactly the target. We did it with general purpose Mark 84 bombs, just the capability of the pilots and the airplane. They destroyed the reactor completely.
Well, it all started when they hijacked the airplane, and we realized after about half a day that the airplane went all the way to Entebbe, to Uganda. We knew that if somebody will decide to do a military operation, the C-130 have to be involved in it. We got a phone call from the chief of the Air Force. Actually, I got it in a wedding in Haifa, and asking me if we can do something, and luckily I was ready. The most difficult part of the operation was to keep the surprise, because it's so easy to prevent us from doing it by just blocking the runway. I mean, there's a runway and you can put vehicles on the runway and then prevent us from landing. So that's it. So we needed to keep a total surprise, and that's why we decided actually to do the landing with just one airplane, my airplane, that I landed there by myself for the first 7 minutes, which was the crucial 7 minutes, which actually the commando stormed the terminal and did what they have to do, and only then the other 3 of the formation of 4 that we were landed. So we wanted to keep maximum surprise, minimum noise, to surprise them completely, and that's why that was the most difficult one. Just kind of sneak in very quietly, get to the terminal, and once the shooting started, I mean, the whole thing woke up, the whole operation. But we surprised them. We surprised them completely.
En brera. No choice, no alternative. These have only been a few examples of Israel's ongoing struggle and the commitment of those who've dedicated their lives to Israel and the security of Jews worldwide. Examples of heroism we can be proud of. But what about the future?
The last years, we visualize more and more the proceeding of the peace process, and country after country, in the close ring near the borders of Israel, we achieved peace. What happened at the same time, the outer ring of extreme Islamic foundationalist countries like Iran, Libya, are acquiring abilities that can endanger the population of Israel, forcing us to look into this threat very seriously. In many ways, only the Air Force can give an answer to threats from that ranges and distances. It's very difficult to achieve, but I think we are on the way.
I think the future for the Air Force, as far as the people are concerned, is much like the past, in the sense that human beings have not changed since early times. The same emotions, the same fear from fighting, the same fear of the unknown.
Everything today is run by any kind of computers, and the range of combat airfight has increased, and you could say that a dogfight begins not from vision, but from about maybe 40 miles and even larger range than that.
All the battlefield is different. It's much more sophisticated. It's a, all my 7 kills, I shot down 7 MiGs, only one by missile, infrared missile. All the others by cannon from 200 meters. And now they, with the FF-15, this is the best dogfighter in the world, with a look-down, shoot-down capability. You can lock on, at the 70 miles, 50 miles. You can launch a Sparrow, it's an electromagnetic missile from 30 miles without even seeing your enemy. It's a different, totally, it's a new world.
Computers will be faster, airplanes will turn better, will maneuver better. The people will stay the same willingness to take risk, the same challenge to fight, and the man and machine interface will stay just the same, even though the machine will be more complex.
It doesn't mean that the human factor has less importance in that kind of combat. I would say even more, because the one who controls the weapon systems best, he will shoot first and he will win the kill first.
Technology is not the secret weapon. It's the spirit of the people. It's the belief of the people in their performances and day-to-day life. It's the belief in their commander. It's the belief in their way. This is the future. No miracle stuff is waiting for us along the way.
The human being behind the machine is still the most important, interesting, and sometimes critical to the whole system.
Looking into the future, I see all the wonderful youngsters which we observed after high school at the age of 18, changing within 2 years in the flying school to become air warriors, with all the proficiency and light in their eyes and understanding why are they doing all that. They are the future of the Air Force, the future of the country, the future of the defense of the country, and they will be, of course, the backbone of the future leaders of the Air Force when one of the times I will come, maybe in my older age, to see what is the outcome of this marvelous Air Force.
Greetings. This event, a celebration of the 50th anniversary of the Air Force, is in support of the remarkable men and women of the IAF and the Strategic Training and Support Center they're building called the Israel Air Force Center. It is designed, amongst other functions, to take already highly trained and motivated members of the Air Force and help stream them into competitive civilian life. The director of the center is an ex-brigadier general.
For a long time, I would say for even many years, in the Air Force, we start talking about the need for having an Israeli Air Force Association and Israeli Air Force Center.
Life in the Air Force is totally different than in the civilian world.
At the end of the career, when they join into the civil service, that's a different way of life.
They can adapt themselves to their second career.
We give our pilots and technicians the sense of being in a family, and I think it is something which is very Jewish.
A family that will take care of them and train them for their second career.
We're people who care for each other, and it's natural for the Air Force to be a family-oriented Air Force.
One of the important things that we are going to do in this center is to work very close with the families that lost their husbands or their fathers, and to help them to continue with their life.
This is an opportunity for us to become involved in a project we can all be proud of, a project that supports Israel and the men and women of the Israeli Air Force. This is Larry King for the 50th anniversary of the Israeli Air Force.
Soon we'll be approaching the 21st century and the 50th anniversary of the creation of Israel. Israel's struggle for survival has cost the lives of thousands. And at the forefront stands the Air Force, the first line of defense of the State of Israel and one of the most respected defense forces in the world. Tonight's celebration in honor of the Israeli Air Force was organized by a special group of people, the Ne'emanim. Ne'emanim means the guardians, or the trusted ones. Individuals from all over the world who share the common goal of supporting the men and women of the Israeli Air Force, who every day and night guard us. What you are watching right now is happening in Air Force bases across Israel. This is not make-believe, it is reality. If there were no Israeli Air Force, there would be no state of Israel. And I think we all have personal reasons to thank God that there is one. Sit back and feel as proud as I do. ואשא אתכם על כנפי נשרים. I have carried you on the wings of eagles.
It takes more than commitment, more than just hard work, more than brain power, more than dedication. It takes the best of the best. And the best you can give. Because survival here doesn't usually give second chances. And that's how it is. And how we train our people.
And we can fly away. And we can fly away. And we
The Israeli Air Force, much more than an Air Force, a human resource. Support the Israeli Air Force Center. Support Israel. Let's do this together.
This is the main planning map that we used in the Entebbe operation. Well, what you see here on the map, of course, is the home base, which is Lod Airport, which we did most of the planning and the rehearsal in a little base next to it. We flew very low in this area because, you see, there were radars in both sides, and we needed to fly about 35 feet over the ground, over the water, to prevent the radar to detect us in this area. But still, remember, surprise was the big issue. So if those guys would detect us, they could alert the guys in Entebbe. We picked up a place, a bay here, in the border of Uganda and Kenya to separate the formation into the three guys that had to stay there for 7 minutes, and myself. And here I just continued with the special force and landed there. The other three came 7 minutes after that. And it is now my honor to give this map to the Israeli Air Force Center. We didn't realize, being so busy in the planning and executing the operation, what does it mean to the people of Israel, and maybe people all over the world. And we are carrying this pride of being lucky to be involved in such an operation, probably all our life.
This is the original stick of the F-16A. This is for the radar, lock the radar. And this gray one is for trimming the plane to relieve the stress, the pressure from the stick. This is for firing the missiles or releasing the bombs. This is for shooting the gun, firing the gun. And this is for nose wheel steering. And this switch is for the disengagement of the autopilot. This is the original stick, number 13, that I flew to Baghdad with, and I have a similar one at home, but this is the real one.
לוחמי חיל האוויר.
Air Force fighters, the arrogant and provocative Egyptian enemy has raised its hand to destroy us. The Air Force, the clenched fist of the IDF, has been given the order. We have taken off for war. the third stage of our war for independence and the survival of our historic homeland, the triangle of 1948, 1956, 1967 will not end. Once again, our enemies have united against us. The spirit of Israel's heroes of all